Hey, what's up? This is me, Timothy. Today we're going to be going over Chapter 7, which is identifying suspects in the case of the Waco shooting. This shootout was between two biker gangs and also the Waco PD, and it happened on May 17th, 2015. There was already original turf war going on between the two gangs, which is the Banditos and the Cossacks. They were all meeting in Waco to have a meeting, a bikers meeting, I guess, annual, but there was already like a weird tension between the two gangs. And of course, since this is a big event, the police were in attendance and was just keeping an eye on everything and making sure everything was legit. Long story short, an altercation goes on between two members of two different biker gangs, the rival ones, and everything, all hell breaks loose in this parking lot for this restaurant. 9 people died, 20 people were wounded, and 177 people were arrested. So one reporter, Janet Wheeler, that's not her actual name, but she wanted the names of the people that were victims of this tragedy. No one would give her these names, not even the police department, so she was very stuck, and she just didn't know why no one was giving her any answers. But a sergeant in the Waco Police Department told her that once all the relatives are contacted, then they would release the names for the victims. Shortly 2 days after that, another news station had the names of the victims posted on their website and part of their newscast. Now, this reporter, Janet Wheeler, she was very thrown off that the news station that she worked for wanted to release the names before the police department, the authorities, because she felt as if she'd rather hear the news. She would rather someone hear the news that they lost a family member through the authorities and not through the news. You know, you're turning on your TV and you're seeing that your dad or your brother or anyone died. It's, not very formal. So that's what she was thrown off about with her news station that she worked for. And finally, when the situation came to an end, it seemed as if no one really knew or acknowledged that even happened. And it really worried Janet Wheeler. It was like, this wasn't formal. Was there a heart in this? Does anyone care about this? She also noticed that the news station was very, very weird with the releasing of their information. If another news station had information, especially with the victims' names, they would release them at a certain time in the day, and the news station that Janet Wheeler worked for wanted to make sure they released the names at a different time, a time where there are more viewers. The evening viewers, there's more evening viewers than there is midday viewers, so they would air it at evening, and the names would go right to their station, that kind of thing. So Janet was noticing that they were using this as a kind of, they made it seem as if it was like a sort of game or it wasn't real, and that really alarmed her. And that ties in with ethics and how people are looking at the situation, especially, and there's sort of heart that has to be had to it, and that's what I think Janet Wheeler wanted, was expecting, and she didn't quite get that. There's a quote from Janet Wheeler in this chapter that I think really sums it up well. She said, "Ethics tends to go out the window and come second when there's big information to release." I think this really explains why the people at Janet's news station were acting the way they were acting. I think when there's big information, like with this big, massive shootout and tragedy, people are going to want to get that information first, and it sucks. But, ethics tends to not, come to play in situations like this when it's, some people expect it to be there. That was all I have for Chapter 7. I enjoyed this chapter. Thanks for watching.